MELF. Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing tonight? All right, yes. Woo. Pleasure to see you guys. Thank you for coming out. My name is Jason, but today I am Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. From Make 'Em Laugh Films, I'm the director, editor, actor, writer, you name it. But pretty much we have a YouTube comedy channel, and I partner with Peter, who owns Viera Comics. It's a comic book shop based in the Space Coast in Florida.
Yeah, Melbourne, Florida, about 55 minutes away from Orlando. And I started this store about almost 2 years ago now. And I had trouble getting people into the store. And I said to myself, what does everybody love? And they love cosplay. So we started doing more cosplay events. We started creating events, special events just for the store, with character days, things like that. I met Jason at a convention, and we very slowly started feeling each other out, and then both decided that yeah, this is fun, let's start doing more of these things, and that's how we started slowly but surely making the store a focal point for cosplay in the area.
Absolutely, and we came here today to tell you guys about successful tips, successful traits that have formed in this partnership that we share. Some different success stories combining cosplay with the comic book industry here. When we started out, we started with making a Deadpool event, individual character. Not many people knew about the shop at that point in the community, but with each cosplay event, we got some more and more traction, both from comic book fans alike, as well as cosplay fans. And since then, it's become a mecca in the community, a place where like-minded people can gather to enjoy each other's company, to challenge themselves in terms of cosplays, to party, to bring artists in, to draw these cosplay characters. We've done different events like drink and draws, where we have a cosplay model come in, for instance, and they get drawn in pure art form then, while other guests can just enjoy themselves with some drinks then. And as I mentioned, I have a YouTube channel that has since partnered with Viera Comics, and we are entirely based on cosplay characters. So we create different cosplay concepts, and then we do a lot of the filming at Peter's shop directly. So that really has helped spread the word about the shop and the different cosplay elements that we integrate into it.
One of the hardest things for a cosplayer is finding a place to cosplay. I mean, if you don't have a convention, where are you going to go and cosplay? You know, and we kept offering people in the area that we knew were cosplayers. We kept saying, hey, why don't you come, we'll do an event or something, and nobody ever responded. So we started building our own community of cosplayers, and now even the people that used to be reluctant to come to the comic shop to cosplay are coming. But we just want to offer a safe place where everybody can come, dress up, and have fun. And that's what we've been very successful doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely snowballed since then. We like to think of the shop events as mini Comic-Cons. Now, the local Comic-Cons in our community, they happen maybe on a quarterly basis on average. We have Melbourne Toy and Comic-Con as well as several others. But in between those conventions, our events give the community their outlets with cosplay. Comic book fans, they see all the laughter that transpires at the store, and they then become encouraged to participate themselves. And then they tell their friends about it. So really, we've had multiple cosplay groups form within the store, and then our channel has grown exponentially as a result of our combined efforts then.
And one of the main other ways we combine comics and cosplay is we try and take some of the most relevant stories that are going on currently, and then we'll make a superhero parody out of it, or we'll make a joke about it, or we'll do an event about it. So everything's fresh, everything's from the comics. We'll try and we started doing photo shoots, and now we've started trying to recreate iconic comic book covers or comic scenes, and make them into our photo shoots.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the One More Day cover with Mary Jane Watson and Spider-Man. We had a couple of cosplayers come in. They're very passionate about that storyline, so they had the opportunity to reenact that in real life. We brought them into the shop for a photo shoot day. We had a white backdrop utilized for the sole purpose of our on-site editor to edit in that the comic book cover for them. and he made it look like a legitimate comic book cover. It looks super impressive.
Very much so, yeah.
And really that's what we've done over the course of the, it's almost 2 years now with the partnership, is bring multi-talented people to this community center. So we have artists come in to do their drawings during different character days. Now we have photo editors come in. We've had multiple filmmakers, and recently we've been implementing podcasts as well, doing them various comic book titles, relevant superhero movies, pretty much any hot trending topic.
Yeah, and right now, for instance, I'm dressed like Captain America. In the comics, he's a bad guy right now. He's a part of Hydra. So we've done jokes with that and some of the other events. And even today, I've had a few people come up to me and whisper, "Hail Hydra."
Yeah, we always keep it fresh. There's a deleted scene from Spider-Man 2 with J.K. Simmons where he dons the Spider-Man costume, and behind closed doors he acts just like Spider-Man, and there's everyone else in his office like, "Oh my god, what's Mr. Jameson doing? He's gone mad." But I haven't seen anyone do that at any convention, so I knew that I wanted to be the pioneer and do this today. So we're always brainstorming different ways to be unique, whether we're at a convention promoting Viera Comics and Make 'em Laugh films as a combined entity, whether we're making videos, or whether we're doing photo shoots or some other promotional events.
And also, one of the other things that distinguishes us from other groups is our wide selection of characters. We're each of us has probably close to anywhere from 25 to 30 different characters that we've done. Yesterday I was Superman, today I was Cap. I just realized of all the conventions I've been to in the past 2 years, I don't think I've worn either suit at any convention, and that's just because I have so many to choose from. So I was kind of excited to do the 2 Boy Scouts. Tomorrow I'll be Punisher though, so I'll make up for it.
There was an article written about our group on the richness that stated that we never seem to run out of costume characters. Essentially, we have, at any given second, any type of Marvel or DC character to choose from, dozens. And we're actually the next phase in our operation is going to be unleashing a themed cosplay booth at conventions, a superhero experience where families can come and take photos with our characters, with select backdrops, famous backdrops that appear in those Marvel and DC movies. Then can have a professional photo edited in real time with their favorite characters, and also different props and masks that the families can wear to take photos and become ingrained in the world with our superhero characters then. So coming soon, that's about a month out for different conventions. That'll be unleashed at Boston Comic-Con next month.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting. We're starting to travel more. We're Florida based, so most of our experience has been in Florida, but now we're slowly but surely came to North Carolina now, and now Boston next month. So we're growing and expanding. We're excited about that.
Absolutely. Many people, we have a lot of cosplay friends who have actually turned this into a full-time job. Cosplay has created so many different opportunities, from doing different panels. We have friends today that are doing wrestling events upstairs, different networking photo shoot opportunities, and I have even some friends in Toronto that have punched their way through into the acting business as a result of their hard work doing their cosplays, convention after convention. And pretty much this is where it starts, getting invited to participate in panels. We'll be appearing as guests at future conventions, and really it just provides you with an avenue to get noticed if you're into getting involved in the movie or television world, or if you simply just have this passion then for portraying these characters or celebrating your interest in comic books with like-minded people at conventions or at local comic book shops.
Sure. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of comic shops would love to have what we have, this community of cosplayers. And it's something that probably could be done here or anywhere else. If you were to go to your comic shop and say, hey, I have a group of friends and we'd love to start cosplaying more here in your shop, I just don't think a lot of people think of it. And I think if you were to go to them and say, let's do this, they would jump at the chance, because a lot of shop owners, when they do need a cosplayer, can never find one. So it just seems like it's a natural partnership but doesn't happen very often, but it should.
Absolutely. And In recent months, we've even seen some of the customers now getting involved in the cosplays. They've had a blast participating in our drink and draws as well as cosplay parties. So now we see them doing characters like Indiana Jones, like Bane, participate now in the photo shoots and our YouTube videos on our channel.
Yeah. We just recently had a cosplay after party. I convinced 2 housewives that I've never cosplayed before to come to it and dress up, and they loved it.
Yeah, they had an absolute blast. There were many great memories, especially with those 2 that night, for sure. Yeah. They just dived headfirst into the cosplay community and didn't look back. They're already asking us about when the next after parties are going to take place. Yeah. I have some associates who are becoming more interested in these cosplay events that might come to a local convention to get their feet wet, or maybe they'll participate in some photo shoots coming up. So really the possibilities are endless. Any comic book fan can make that leap into the cosplay world, or vice versa too. I have personally become more invested in collecting comic books since meeting Peter when he opened up Viera Comics on the Space Coast. And my collection has grown enormously since then, so really the opposite avenue transpired, where I was the cosplayer who became an even stronger comic book fan then.
Sure. So, when you guys came to this panel tonight, what were your expectations? Or do you have any questions that you'd like to ask, or anything that you...
Since 2008, it all started when I saw trailers for The Dark Knight, and then I proceeded to watch some YouTube parodies of The Dark Knight then. So I was like, I need to do that too. So I got a Joker costume, I had the suit custom made for myself, and then I joined a film and video club at the University of Illinois. And we became very good friends, and we went out and shot that Dark Knight parody. And it was almost an hour-long movie. It took months to film and edit, and I was pretty much self-taught with the editing process and with filming. I learned a lot from that first project. And pretty much since then, I kept filming projects month after month with that same group of people. And then I realized, okay, I have my degrees now, but I'm sick of Chicago winter. So why not Florida? So I moved down here, and shortly thereafter met Peter, and we created a Florida-based cosplay group down over here. And we've been just keeping it going ever since. We base our parodies off of the popular superhero movies on Marvel and DC heroes. And we do different skits at various conventions and local events. So we really just keep it going. It's what we love to do. Really, laughter is the best form of medicine. And that especially holds true for us. No matter what stress is going on in our lives, we always count on the videos and cosplay at the comic book shop to be that go-to activity that makes us forget about anything else that's going on. So yeah, since 2008, I've just been going full steam with the cosplay world, and just, especially the past year now, me and Peter have been wanting to take the cosplay ideas to the next level with doing conventions and even bigger conventions, and we've been going at it full force. So yeah, lots of great things on the horizon, lots of great things.
I've only been cosplaying since I want to say November of 2015, and that was kind of accidental. I had at that time been open for about 3 months. I had 2 events at the store, and the first one was a grand opening, so that got a lot of people to come cosplay at. The second one was a Halloween event, so that was pretty good too. But after that, the town had a big Christmas parade coming up, and they wanted me to bring cosplayers to the parade. So I asked everybody that I know, and a lot of them said, oh yeah, but they never came. So that first technically event that I cosplayed at was just me and Jason. I dressed like the Green Lantern. I bought a cheap Halloween costume with the fake muscles, and that was it. That was my only costume that I had. And
I was the Green Goblin for that event.
Yeah,
and I have this silicone mask, and when I speak in the mask, the lips move with my mouth. So it looks pretty realistic, and then most of the costume itself is actually women's clothing, like a purple dress, some purple heels, and then just some Under Armour pretty much, and some bridal gloves, purple bridal gloves, because those were the only purple gloves I could find. And then I made my own goblin glider using one of those 2-wheel self-balancing scooters, the ones that easily explode apparently. Mine hasn't exploded yet, thank God. But then I combined that, I cut up a yoga mat in the shape of a bat to look just like his glider. And that's what I rode for the parade. So just pretty much just getting the crowd, going wild and everything just to have, some audience participation with that parade then. And then, we realized that this was a good thing that we started with that parade, proceeded to do a Deadpool event at the shop, and then never turned back.
Yeah. Actually, we filmed, Jason had written a great Superman, Batman, Dawn of Justice parody. And at the time I wasn't really filming just yet, even though I had done the parade with him. And he came to the shop in January to film, and I had a small role in that, and that's when I really got the taste. I said to myself, I had taken film and acting classes in high school and a little bit in college. But just like any young kid, everybody tells you to stay away from that because there's no future in it. But I really wanted to do it. I've always wanted to be an actor, and this is finally an outlet for me to act in. And it's not Shakespeare, I know that, but I love it. I love everything about it, and I have Jason to thank for that.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor too, for the same reasons, namely being practical and wanting to have cash in the bank account. I became a health administrator instead. But I gladly put in the hard work, day after day, hour after hour, after hours with taking these cosplays to the next level and developing the YouTube videos, because it's what I truly enjoy doing. And as far as combining cosplay and comics goes and how that relates to the videos, we film the vast majority of our videos in the comic book shop. So really the shop and all the comics, they act as the backdrop for all of our characters interacting, whether it's Bruce Wayne meeting Clark Kent for the first time. You have all these issues behind them lined up. And we feel that the comic book fans that are our fan base on YouTube, and as well as local supporters of the comic book shop, they take great appreciation in that, and they create for some pretty fun Easter eggs within the videos themselves. Same with the collectibles. We've actually implemented quite a few of the collectibles from the shop in some different videos, like in our Captain America Civil War parody. We made a point to put every single Civil War pop within the shop on the table as the Avengers are meeting to discuss those Sokovia Accords. So we like to put those Easter eggs, which are so easily accessible in the shop, as Easter eggs, and also it promotes the materials in the shop then. So comic book fans that are the audience, they're like, okay, well, where's the shop? I really want to go to the shop now. It's really advertising at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gotten a lot of new customers through it. And so this fall will be 2 years since I started cosplaying. And that'll be, before that, I used to always never dress up for Halloween. I used to always say, it's stupid, I don't want to. So now I have over 30 characters, and been doing it for 2 years, and now we have a following that's more than a lot of people that have been doing this for their whole life. So, and it's because we do combine the comic and cosplay aspect and keep it fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. And when Halloween rolls around, I don't even know what I'm going to dress up as, because every single weekend we're dressed up at the shop doing some kind of event or some kind of new YouTube comedy video based on superheroes. So really, like, okay, well, let me just go into my closet here and just pick one.
Right.
Whatever my mood is, depending on the day.
This year I didn't even dress up. Every other day was Halloween, so this year I didn't dress up at all.
Absolutely. But yeah, combining cosplay and comics. We have a lot of different great events coming up. Pretty shortly, we're going to have another Batman Day within a month or so. And last year when we did the event, we had a bunch of different Batman family characters show up. And that was a very good day in terms of the business too, with selling different comics and merch. We had multiple Batmen. We banged out maybe 2 or 3 different videos then based on the Batman characters. So really, we go into each of these events with a mission. Okay, these are the cosplays. We'll likely have these themed cosplayers show up. We'll be able to bang out several of these themed videos in one shot. And then also, maybe let's focus on these specific comic book titles at the same time then. So some really strategic planning based on that.
Mm-hmm. And even today we filmed, you said probably 5 videos.
5 videos since yesterday.
And one of them, without spoiling it, in Spider-Man Homecoming, if you've seen it, there's a couple scenes where Captain America does public service announcements. So we did a spoof on that today, and that's part of what we were saying, how we like to try and keep it fresh, keep it relevant. That's very much in the comic world right now. So
absolutely. And another development that we have is we're going to be filming a commercial that'll be broadcasted in our local community on the Space Coast, and we plan to do it entirely in cosplay. So we're going to have our superhero characters staying in character, promoting Viera Comics as a shop. and how it's become Cosplay Central, the cosplay headquarters of the Space Coast. You could join in the cosplay parties, participate in the photo shoots, join in the videos, and also, most importantly, finding some awesome merchandise at Viera Comics, whether it's comics or collectibles.
Sure. So let's see, you had that question. Guys, any other questions?
Do you make your cosplays or you get them?
It depends on the cosplay. I've bought a good handful of my cosplays, but I've made some others. Like, for instance, one of the ones that I made was a Venom suit. I actually started with a Zentai, just a black basic Zentai suit, and then I got some fabric paint, some black and white fabric paint, and then I designed the white spider logo just from my hand, actually, and then I used the black fabric paint to do some texture to make it seem like it's the symbiote goo that made it all lifelike and everything. Then I used some epoxy sculpt to carve out the mask, and then actually, this is probably my favorite part, but I actually bought shark teeth to be the teeth in the Venom mask. No, actually, I lied. This is my favorite part. I had a Gene Simmons tongue that I put in the mask, and it actually like bounced as I walked too, so it looked pretty lifelike.
That's awesome.
That's probably my favorite one that I've made myself, but I buy others. I've got, actually, I just arrived back home in Florida today. But an Iron Man costume. It's the Mark 43 from Avengers Age of Ultron. I've been wanting that one for quite some time, so I'm very pumped to unleash that in 2 weeks at Florida Supercon. We're having a blast at these Supercons, I tell you that.
Yeah, and within our group, we have people that make the cosplays and are very crafty and handy. I also am not, I suppose I could do a lot of it, but because of my work schedule, I'm at the shop basically 7 days a week. It's still new, and I have to be there all the time, and I have 2 young kids, so free time is not really there for me. But in our group, we have people that can do armor building, painting, sewing, and we have a lot of other friends that can too. So whenever we do need something, we can always go to them, and they help us out with that stuff.
Absolutely, and also I have a similar, I guess, tight schedule, you could say, due to the fact that I have a full-time healthcare job as well as do all the YouTube videos, the writing, acting, editing, etc. That just, I pretty much wouldn't be able to sleep if I made every single one of my cosplays. So my philosophy is, if buying the cosplay works for you, go for it. It's more about embodying the character that you truly enjoy to portray. And if it brings you joy and everything, and hell, someone else might be able to do a better job than you can with your limited time. So, whatever works for you, just go for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think both are great. I mean, people that I have nothing but mad respect and for people that make their own costumes, and some of them are so elaborate and beautiful, and I just can't even imagine how I could do that.
And then in buying a cosplay, you support someone else's hobby then. You have people that are trying to turn making cosplays into legitimate businesses then. So when you come across a cosplayer who wants to take it to the next level, it's a great way to show your support to them. And then you market that in your social media when people ask you, hey, where'd you get that awesome cosplay? Where can I find this? I want to replicate this myself. Well, here you go. This is my source over here. They do great armor building. They do great sewing. They make some great helmets made out of foam. Pretty much being that referral. And then you do some cross promotion then with those people. They'll want to share your comic book shop, or they'll want to share your YouTube videos then. It really becomes a network, a supportive community of like-minded creative people.
Yeah, 2 of our friends are really good at FX makeup and zombie makeup and things like that. So I've actually learned a few things from them, but what they do is incredible. So whenever anybody asks me how to go about that or where to go, I always point them in that direction, and they've gotten a lot of business through the referrals.
Mm-hmm. And then making those connections is especially helpful too. We're getting involved more so in convention planning now. We have a local convention coming up in October, and we're going to be bringing in those connections to do different panels for us. We were involved in that same convention, the spring version of it, and we brought in those makeup artists to do different panels based on that. And that's just a fantastic way to showcase those local talents, to help build that into something even bigger than before. It's all about helping each other explore your passions, getting the word out there.
Sure. Yeah, body painting too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, body painting. Yeah.
How you doing, sir? Do you have any questions?
I just want to ask, what is your favorite cosplay as far as costume and the role that you take on
Ooh, that's a tough one, because I have multiple favorites for sure. Jonah Jameson's one of mine, just because you could be as obnoxious as possible, and just talk in this voice. You could say, hey, I just want photos of Spider-Man, and people, they automatically just get the reference. I like Batman a lot. Batman's been my hero since I was a child, since Michael Keaton's portrayal in Batman '89. That's one of my staple cosplays to do. I have a new Ben Affleck cosplay that I'm about to unleash, the Justice League version of the Bat suit. I also like Tony Stark. I just have a thing for playing the billionaires, I guess. Also Green Goblin. Green Goblin's a lot of fun too. You know, I love Willem Dafoe from the first Spider-Man movie, from the Raimi saga. Lots of quotable material from that movie, and just flying on that Goblin glider that I made is just an awesome time. So I'd say that those characters are definitely some of my faves. How about you, Peter?
For me, it'd have to be Punisher and Doctor Strange, even Cap. Now that I've gotten to a feel for how we should be playing him, and I like to make fun of Cap a little bit because he's such a Boy Scout. And then, really, truly, in this past year, my most favorite character I've played was we went to a Star Wars celebration in Orlando, and it's funny because I find that Star Wars cosplayers are very serious people, almost too serious because it's supposed to be fun. But we went there and we were rednecks, and I portrayed a gender-bent version of Rey, and I talked just like Larry the Cable Guy. So I was like, shoo, get her done. And I kept going up to people with my fake lightsaber, smashing them with their lightsaber and saying, sword fight, sword fight, sword fight. And some people laughed, but some people were taking it so seriously that they did not like it at all.
One person was like, oh, my lightsaber lights up.
Mine lights up too, fancy pants.
And then I did a hillbilly version of Kylo Ren. I was Cousin Ren that day. I had a beer helmet on that the tubes like went into my helmet, and I had a shirt, you know, it's pretty political. I was like, whatever. It said, make the Empire great again. So I had some pretty interesting reactions throughout the entire day.
That was probably one of the most, I watched people, and nobody got stopped more for pictures than Jason that day. It was pretty funny. I mean, they thought I was funny once I opened my mouth. But just his actual visual appearance with the beer cans and the hat.
The helmet makes for an imposing presence, because I gain, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches then, and just the sight of beer cans coming at you, it's just something else. And it said Thirst Aid on the front of it too, so that was another ingredient.
Yeah, we've done a lot of videos the past 2 years, but that one is one of my favorites, and it's actually one of our least viewed on YouTube. So if you get bored later, go on YouTube, Make 'em Laugh Films, and look up the Star Wars celebration video that we did. You'll laugh.
It's called Redneck Star Wars.
It's one of our favorites. It's one of those things where when we die, it'll be a cult classic, I'm sure.
But yeah, but not until then. Until then, it's gonna rest at, what is it, like 600 views only?
Something like that. It's 500. The views were me.
Me too. Oh man, let's see. What are some other faves, or maybe some upcoming? What are some of the ones that you're looking forward to the most? Upcoming cosplays.
Well, Jason does an excellent Batman, and Batman is my favorite character too. So hopefully down the road. We've been talking about maybe I'll get the Batman 1989 Michael Keaton outfit, so we can both be Batman. But also very soon I'll be getting the Superman Henry Cavill costume from Dawn of Justice and Justice League, just so we can have a little bit more. I had a Superman suit on yesterday, but it was the Brandon Routh Superman Returns outfit with the underwear on the outside, which I like actually, because that's how you know he's really Superman. But,
and that Superman is actually bright instead of all doomsday and mopey, like, oh, the news is making fun of me again, Lois, sob.
Right. So I'm gonna have to be a depressed Superman soon, but I don't mind. It's all for comedy.
And then going back to Michael Keaton Batman, I've been wanting to do a parody of Batman 1989 for a while, because that was one of my favorite childhood movies, and you know, it still is one of my favorites. And since I was a kid, I've been wanting to do Jack Nicholson Joker. I've done Heath Ledger Joker as well as Jared Leto Joker. I was actually dressed up as Jared Leto Joker yesterday, dancing with a bunch of Harleys, waltzing, doing the Mad Love poses and everything, making fun of Suicide Squad. But I want to embody Jack Nicholson Joker finally. Do some party man, some dancing. some commercials, new and approved Joker products.
Love that Joker.
Hey Eckhart, think about the future. Classic.
That's another thing that we like to do is we like to take relevant things that are going on in comics or in the comic movies, and we make memes out of them.
Oh, absolutely.
And sometimes we use our actual cosplay pictures. Like yesterday, while I was waiting for Jason to get ready, I went downstairs in my Superman outfit, and I saw a shoe shine stand. I never see those anymore, so I sat down, and the shoe shine guy was not very amused. But I said, "Do you mind? You know, look, Wonder Woman's coming, and I need to look my best." And we took a couple pictures of that, and then I made a few memes of it. And you know, those are things. But also, we like to take the memes from the popular movies. Like Aggressive Expansion and Eckhart from Batman 1989, or even obscure ones from like Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. The one we for whatever reason like so much now is Hero Cake.
It's such an obscure line, but yeah, that's actually what we just love to do. That we love to take relevant comic book material, mix it with a lot of our cosplays, and just have a great time with it. Blast out that material. And that's how I keep myself amused. Say if I'm having a really slow day, or if I'm just like tired, don't feel like editing a project, or if it's like slow, I'm just planning for some kind of event. We'll just amuse ourselves, make all these inside jokes, you know, making fun of these memes. And actually, we have a group chat that is shared among the members of our cosplay team. And we always come up with these great new cosplay, comics themed comedy ideas within the chat, or we just make fun of each other just to keep ourselves amused.
That's 90% of it is making fun of each other, but that's what keeps it fresh too. We get a lot of new humor every day.
Absolutely, but yeah, we have great brainstorming sessions through those Facebook Messenger chats. We think we planned most of, actually a good amount of our upcoming cosplay booth that we'll be unveiling at Boston Comic Con next month from the group chat. Let's create these backdrops now. Okay, what cosplay characters do we need to unleash to make the biggest impact? Like, which characters are the most relevant right now in the comic book titles as well as the movies? Like, what are some of these movies that are most likely to become a hit?
For sure. And shoot. Getting late in the day, sorry, I lost my train of thought. You go ahead. I had a good point.
But yeah, actually we got a question over here. I actually did both at different points. Originally, I had the movie look. I looked like the Power Ranger Willem Dafoe look. I had this helmet. But I traveled to a convention in Toronto, and despite having the fragile label on my luggage, United pretty much manhandled my luggage just like they manhandled that guy a couple months ago. So my helmet got ruined. It got shattered. But after that point, I saved up some money, and I came across the silicone goblin mask. I'm like, all right, time to bring one of my favorite characters back from the dead now. Don't tell Harry. And I created the comic book version of the character then. And you know, I just freaking love playing the Green Goblin. And actually, he's one of the characters that I can relate to the most in real life. Because with my healthcare job, I feel like I need to rely on my business mindset quite a bit with strategic planning, as well as overseeing the operations of several departments, you know, kind of like Norman Osborn would oversee Oscorp Industries. And then at these different conventions or making YouTube videos, then I let my wild side out. I can let loose, let some of the insanity fly. But yeah, don't tell Harry.
We try and come up with different parody ideas daily, and just today we were walking towards the escalator, and it was out of order. And I did the Batman voice when he was in Nightmare Batman and Batman vs. Superman, when he goes, "No!" So then we came up with the idea of having Nightmare Batman go up to different situations throughout the day and just keep saying no. Like, he'll walk outside and the elevator will be out of order, or he'll sit on a park bench and see wet paint, but it was too late. Yeah.
Or he sat down, yeah. Vending machine's out of order. No!
Flat tire.
No! Just everyday simple things that you can think of. The water fountain's not working again. No! Alfred.
So those are the kinds of brainstorming. They just happen literally every second.
It's how we keep ourselves amused throughout the day. Hell, all week. We're always script writing, coming up with different ways to portray these characters. And it's what we love to do, absolutely. You know, like, while we are turning this into a business, at the end of the day, it's what we love to do. We're passionate about portraying these characters. We're passionate about talking about these comic book related ideas, about taking the business to the next level, about meeting more like-minded people, creating different events, memorable videos for the audience.
Networking is key in this, because if you want to cosplay, it's fun to do it with a bunch of people. It's so much more enjoyable. You know, it's great going by yourself to a con or with one friend, but if you have a group of people, man, it's magic. You can do a theme, you can make a little skit, you can put that on YouTube, or you can just have a lot of fun with it. And networking and meeting other like-minded cosplayers is going to be a real key to happiness.
And it takes only a little bit of that catalyst to lead it to something bigger that's going to explode, because the word's going to travel out. Like, say you start with a small group of cosplayers, then if you get the content out there through social media, and the various social media platforms have been a great key to our success. We have Instagram pages, Twitter, Facebook, and of course the YouTube channel. But that's how other cosplayers know about you then, and then it snowballs from there. Last year at MegaCon, I, as well as my friend Sean Ward, who has his own YouTube channel up in Toronto, we organized, along with a couple other cosplayers that are local to Orlando, we organized a Spider-Verse flash mob / video shoot, and that was very well attended. Well, they remembered it very well this year coming into MegaCon. I made an event, everyone from last year blasted it out, and I barely had to direct that one then. People instinctively knew what to do, had the beats already ingrained in their mind from last year's flash mob and also from rewatching the video and blasting it out to their friends. And even the newcomers, they participated in the singing, the dancing, the fighting, the brawling, all the insanity that took place at the Spider-Verse shoot. So I barely had to direct, I just had to kind of give them a little push then, and then boom.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It exploded then.
It certainly did, right in everybody's face.
Phrasing.
Any other questions or curiosities?
Do you have a website that all your pictures are on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we both have our pages. Actually, we have cards that we can distribute. We'll put them on display. We'll hand them out at the end of the panels. But yes, Viera Comics and Make 'em Laugh Films. We have YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
We're both very, very active on Instagram.
Yeah, like we met a couple cosplayers like an hour ago, and already we've been commenting on their photos like, pleasure to meet you, pleasure was all mine. And then boom, regramming the photos and blasting them out there with hashtags, and then cross-promotion. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, today I've gotten probably about 15 new followers just from other cosplayers that I've met and talking to them. It's important. A lot of people meet and never say, hey, what's your Instagram, or how can I get in touch with you? So I always make sure I get their, it's like getting a phone number at a bar. You know, I get their Instagram right then and there, and we follow each other right then and there, and that's how it grows.
Absolutely. And then getting a business card, it makes it so much easier to share your content or get your followers to follow through with finding you. So this is our business card. Front side and back side has both the Viera Comics information as well as the Make 'em Laugh Films information. Getting your information on there, like what your slogan is and what your mission statement's all about. We do cosplay, comics, and comedy. Those are the 3 points that we drive whenever we make a new connection.
So yeah, the YouTube channel is where you'll find all the parodies and fun videos and other goodies. And then Instagram is where you'll see a lot of stills and even our
memes too.
Yeah,
memes, lots of good memes.
And even the Viera Comics Facebook page is more of a business page. I'll throw up like comics and pops and exclusives that we have in the store. So that's it's great if you're a collector, but it's a little less fun as far as cosplay and all that stuff. From an event we'll throw pictures up. But
absolutely. And then in terms of the content too, some of the more family-friendly stuff we keep to the Viera Comics page because we wanted to keep it a family-friendly environment. But with the Make 'em Laugh Films page, we have a little bit more freedom because YouTube, you know, the audience can be anybody really. While we do have family-friendly content on the YouTube channel, we could also have adult type of content. And usually we'll put a disclaimer, not safe for work, just to, you know, keep those kiddos away if it's not appropriate.
Which happens a lot.
This is true.
But hey, nobody's coming to our channel to see straight up drama. They want to see fun. They want to see bathroom humor. They want to see a bunch of guys that are having fun, and you can see it clearly when you watch us that we're having a lot of fun together.
Absolutely, and with every single project, we go into it with a script, and I create the ideas based usually on the trailers or the movies themselves. We make fun of the pieces of dialogue, and we break the fourth wall a whole lot, making fun of the different aspects of the productions, like, oh, Zack Snyder took away the color saturation again, oh, typical Snyder. But then we leave it open to improvisation. We have a great group, very talented group, and each of us has a different style of humor that we bring to the table. And we all appreciate one another's sense of humor. Each unique flavor makes the whole even greater then. It becomes a well-rounded project, and quite a bit of the improvisation at the end of each take, because I keep rolling no matter what, a lot of that improv makes it into the final product. And we feel that that's a great ingredient in getting people invested into the channel and also Viera Comics as the store, the base of operations for the channel.
Yeah, we're fortunate that we have that headquarters, if you will, because it's become a meeting place, a hub, and it's not uncommon for a Saturday afternoon to have 4 or 5 of our friends just pop in, and we'll throw a movie on, and that can turn into a video sometimes too.
And the culture, the environment that we've cultivated at Viera Comics, it's really like Cheers, I like to say. It's where you go where everyone knows your name, and you're always glad you came. And it's so true. Whenever one of our friends walks in, we immediately exclaim, "It's you!" And then we like all cheer. You know, it's like a welcoming committee whenever someone walks in. And then the shenanigans start then. The laughter shortly follows.
We shortly follow with lots of insults, but fun.
It could be like a frat house sometimes, like a frat house.
Any other questions or anything you'd like to know about the process of making the videos or coming up with ideas or anything?
Or cosplay related or comics related. It could be anything. We love answering any question you present to us. We'll answer anything.
Comics right now. Okay.
Actually, we got a question over here. I use Final Cut Pro 7. I've used that actually since 2008. I still use it because I like the style of it and also the effects that come with it. I contemplated upgrading to Final Cut 10, but it really just is not as user-friendly. It looks more like iMovie. It's more limited in the number of layers you can use in the timeline, and I don't like that because I like overlaying and overlaying to do lots of neat stuff with it. It's just a lot easier for me to navigate the different projects and get through the different takes. And then cut between the different takes then. Let's change the angle at this point, just to keep the audience's attention in line, you know? Keep it exciting for them, just working on the pacing. Yeah, Final Cut 10, it just doesn't have that as user-friendly capabilities with the layers, so I like it because it's what is natural for me, it's what's efficient for me. I'm sure there might be some more efficient editing software out there, but for now I'm still comfortable with Final Cut 7.
Right now, go ahead.
Have you seen any effects, as like an owner of a comic book store, have you seen any effects that cosplay has had on comics itself?
Yeah, I think it helps. But just like Jason said, he really wasn't collecting a ton of comics, and now he is. And it helps that he's at the shop all the time, and I'll always hand him a comic and say, "Oh, you got to read this one." But I think cosplay, when there's probably maybe 30% of the people that came here today to this convention don't know much about comics. They're just curious, and they're probably seeing everybody dressed up and saying how fun it looks, and they probably are gonna maybe go and look at their local comic shop, or God forbid Amazon or something else like that, or hopefully a bookstore or something. I try not to send people to Amazon, but that's what's going to happen. They'll see the cosplayers and they'll get a bug and they'll want to read more about it or learn more about their character. I think cosplay and the great TV shows and movies that we have coming out right now, this is a great time. I'm 43, going to be 44 in 2 weeks, and when I grew up there was the occasional cartoon, the occasional movie. Batman '89 was like the first good movie. So now we have every other month there's an incredible movie out, and every other month there's a great new TV show on Netflix, and it's just amazing. And that's helping people get curious and want to buy the comics now.
Absolutely. The characters that I cosplay, those are the comic lines that I purchased from Viera Comics. So I portray, as I mentioned earlier, like Iron Man, Batman, I have a Deadpool as well, Green Goblin, Jonah, Jameson. Like any comic book lines where those characters are featured are the ones I typically purchase. And also like the classic graphic novels, like I'm a massive Joker fan, always have been. I cosplay the Joker, so I got The Killing Joke. Also, the Death of the Family storyline, love that stuff. The Joker graphic novel itself too. Endgame.
Yeah.
You know, I became intrigued to pursue all of those different storylines.
The comics that are out right now are setting the trends for the future of cosplay. So, and like the future of movies. So the Civil War movie that came out last year was a comic 10 years ago. Just last year, though, was Civil War II in the comics. And right now there's a comic story going on called Secret Empire, where Captain America is bad. He's part of Hydra. So I'm sure that's going to be a movie someday. And I'm sure there's going to be people cosplaying Captain America in the green Hydra suit. So, and I've seen Batman's suit changed when the new comics came out last year, the Rebirth. So I've seen a few of those cosplays. So yes, the comics are setting the trends for the cosplay, and the cosplay is making people want to read comics.
Yeah, absolutely. And comic books from a couple decades ago, they're being revisited now for the current movies. I'm already seeing that trend happening, like with Batman versus Superman. They combine like probably 8 different good storylines and burn through them quickly instead of making like 8 separate movies.
Right.
But you know, comics like The Dark Knight Returns, where that's literally a Batfleck suit. He has that same exact costume from The Dark Knight Returns, and that was the influence of his character's personality then. And then that turns, you know, cosplayers like me onto those older comic books to explore them. I purchased from Viera Comics the Dark Knight Returns storyline to read up on the character, like, hey, maybe I could take some aspects from the original comic book now to work into my Batman cosplay character. It comes full circle then. It's a good cycle of inspiration.
Another great example is Walking Dead.
Yeah,
Man, when people see the Walking Dead cosplay or the TV show, they definitely want to revisit the comics. It was a comic book first, and I'm shocked at how many people don't know that. Obviously everybody here at a convention knows that, but when I see people that come into the comic book shop and see a Walking Dead comic for the first time, like, oh, you mean like the TV show? I'm like, well, it was first a comic book. And those are some of the best cosplays. Negan, Rick, they're all fun. And zombies are hot right now, so...
So hot right now.
So that's definitely something that's made people want to read comics. Walking Dead cosplay has made people come back to the shop, buy the comics, buy the collections, and I'm very thankful for that.
It's a great time to be a comic book fan. Such a great time. You have all these great titles coming out month after month in comics, and also all these fantastic movies. Not only do we have Marvel Studios, and it's very rare you have a weak Marvel movie, but now DC, their cinematic universe is on track. I loved Wonder Woman personally, and you know, I do like Batman versus Superman as much as I like to make fun of it, and Suicide Squad. But I just feel that those movies are going to get stronger and stronger, and that's going to feed into the cosplay world. You already see all these awesome cosplays based on those current movies and also the upcoming movies that the trailers have been released for already. And that's only going to continue. It's only going to continue to inspire people to explore their passions, to take it to the next level in terms of building the cosplays, acting out those characters, doing photo shoots, you name it. And then doing events at comic book shops and at conventions based on those movies, those graphic novels, comic book titles, and cosplays themselves.
Sure. We have another question here.
Yes.
Kind of random, but the Cocktails version of Walking Dead, what do y'all think about that versus like the TV show?
The which one?
The video game of Cocktails.
Oh, Tall Tale. I haven't played it, so I can't say, but I don't know. Do you know much about it?
I don't. Like I said, my free time is very limited, so I don't get to play video games as much as I would like. But with that said, video game cosplay is crazy popular.
Absolutely. We've come across hundreds within the past 2 days here. Lots of great video game cosplays.
And even back in Florida, any convention we go to, we were just at MegaCon, which I think at this point is now the 4th largest in the country. And there were tons. I would say maybe like 30–40% of the cosplayers were from video games. So yeah, it's very popular.
Yeah. And then when I do get more free time, I definitely intend to play video games quite a bit. Video games were my childhood. My brother, he has that game, and he likes it. He likes it a lot, and he always tells me about the new games that I need to check out. It's just a matter of finding the time, and boy, do I want to make the time to do it. I still need to catch up on the Arkham video games myself, too. I was just talking with one of the customers at the shop the other day, one of our good friends, about that, and I got to catch up with Arkham Origins as well as Arkham Knight. Hell, that might be a future cosplay of mine as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, the video game world definitely inspires cosplays, as seen here. The past 2 days at other events that we've been to, and I can definitely see it influencing me in the future as well. Yes.
And a follow-up to that, the also came out with a Batman.
Oh, sweet. I may be getting back into video games even sooner. Which Batman is that one the most like out of the portrayals so far?
It's hard to say because he actually goes into the asylum with Joker. They don't even call him the Joker until later on.
Is that the virtual reality one that I had heard about, or is that you're talking about something different?
It's something, it's like a storyline where you choose your own story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that's incredible.
Okay. All right, very cool. Yeah, I love any scenario involving Batman being set in Arkham Asylum. I really hope that they actually use a premise like that for the upcoming Batman movies, the Batfleck solo movie.
Yeah, that'd be great. Which was just recently, the script was thrown out, so we might not see that movie for a while, unfortunately.
But hey, I'm a fan of Batfleck. I'm glad that we get to see him
Yeah,
still.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
Yes.
Of all the comics throughout comic history that has turned into a movie, what would you say?
That's a very good question. I gotta think on this one.
Favorite comic that storyline turned into a movie is the question, and I would say,
Do animated movies count? Okay, The Dark Knight Returns, hands down.
actually, if that's the case, then Flashpoint for me. Flashpoint and
Actually, ooh, Flashpoint is really good. I still gotta go with Dark Knight Returns, but Flashpoint will be a close second for me.
Yeah.
I just love Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint. I gotta tell you that.
He's awesome, and I love Civil War, but it just had way too many liberties away from the comic book version. So I did not dislike the movie. I loved the movie, but I just felt it was something totally different than what it was supposed to be or should have been.
I agree. It was a watered down version of what it could have been.
Yeah.
If they do a Civil War II movie, maybe they'll use more of the actual storyline.
Yeah.
An even bigger Team Cap versus Team Iron Man,
Right.
if they're still breathing.
Yeah, I think those will have new characters by then.
Yeah. Did you have another question?
We're almost at the time.
All right, almost there. So yeah, in closing remarks though, as you can see, you can have a lot of success combining cosplay and comics. Like our strategies with doing different events at the shop, attending all these different conventions, and now we've begun traveling to take our brand out there more. Doing videos, photo shoots, networking with artists. Networking is probably one of the most key ingredients that you can have. Because with getting other people out there, they're very appreciative that you're showcasing their work to get it to a larger audience, and they're gonna do the same thing for you then. Just blowing out your content to a wider reach then.
Sure. Yeah, we like we said earlier, we work with podcasters now, makeup artists, cosplay builders, other cosplayers, you name it, we've networked with them, and now we share their stuff, they share our stuff, and it's just become such a great community because of it.
And at this rate, say if we make professional movies, like we have a wealth of talent at our disposal within the community, within our connections to probably create our own production company in the future.
Easily.
We'll have a makeups department, a costume department, a writing department, editing department, actors. We'll have a little bit of everything present, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So we'd like to thank everybody tonight for coming. We're very humbled. And hopefully we'll see you in Florida. We're going to give each of you a card here. And you can check us out on YouTube at the Make 'em Laugh Films channel. You can find our Instagrams, and we'll interact with you on Instagram all the time. And hopefully we'll see you in Florida, in Melbourne.
Yes, please visit Florida sometime and get your comics and collectibles at Viera Comics. We are Viera Comics and Make 'em Laugh Films, and we thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.